what you had to say about the Confederate flag.
Joining us now is Reverend Charles Williams II, President of the National Action Network of Michigan. Reverend Williams, thanks for joining us. Why do you want Kid Rock to abandon the Confederate flag?
You know, first of all, we need to understand that the Confederate flag stands for the over 500,000 slaves that were brought here in America in not a sense of slavery, but chattel slavery, where they were beaten, they were raped, they were abused. It represents over 5,000 people who were lynched in the South. It represents the 4 little girls in Birmingham, Alabama, whose church was bombed during Sunday school. And of course, now in 2015, it represents Senator Clemente Pinckney and all of those who were killed in that Charleston, South Carolina church. And it's time for it to go. It is a hate symbol. It is no less of a hate symbol than a swastika. It is certainly being heralded in the South right now by the Ku Klux Klan. And quite frankly, we're tired as African Americans having to apologize why something so heinous and something so hateful should have to go. And so we believe that Kid Rock needs to denounce that flag. He needs to get away from that flag. We believe that General Motors are complicit in this if they allow him to fly those flags during his show, and they don't believe he should apologize for flying those flags. We believe that the Detroit Historical Museum, who also has the name of Kid Rock in one of the exhibits, if they allow his name to stay there, they're a part of supporting this. I mean, it's time for this flag to go. And as an African-American man and as an African-American, I feel like for me to have to fight so hard for somebody to see that this is a hate signal, it's very, very unfortunate, and it's very sad that in 2015 we're having this conversation.
Reverend Williams, part of this deals with the display at the Historical Museum, and they just released a statement that says, in part, there are no displays of the Confederate flag in the Kid Rock Music Lab or anywhere else inside the Detroit Historical Museum. What's your response to that?
Well, that's great, but here's the issue. The issue is that Kid Rock himself, who has not, 1, apologized for displaying this flag, 2, has not decided that these flags will not be a part of his show. Just a few weeks ago, there was a picture that came out on Twitter with him sitting there with a bottle of alcohol with a flag posted on it. I mean, a Confederate flag posted on it. It's time for this to stop. He should denounce it. We should not allow him to have a golden pass for this. The media should hawk him, and everybody should be very concerned. And as a matter of fact, we're going to be vigilant about this in terms of demonstrations and protests, because we feel like there's no reason why this flag should still be allowed to fly.
Reverend Williams, though, isn't there a difference between a private citizen using it and a government choosing to fly it on state property, as has been the case in South Carolina, for instance?
Well, let me tell you this. If he wants to privately have this flag there, that's his business. If he wants to privately have his flag flying as a private citizen, that's his business. But at the same time, we have the right to choose whether we're going to buy General Motors cars. We have the right to choose whether we're going to go to the Detroit Historical Museum. Because if they allow him to fly this flag with the dollars that we buy these cars for, I drive a Cadillac, and about every other preacher I know in Detroit drives a Cadillac or a General Motors. So if they don't feel like our dollars are worth it, then fine. We'll just switch to the company that will support us.
All right, Reverend Williams, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm sure we'll be hearing more on this issue in the future.
Reverend Charles Williams,
thank you
very much. Still ahead.